Hello, welcome to Longshot Larry's Sports Astrology. Today we're looking at Penrith vs Souths, the Rugby League NRL Grand Final. It is going ahead. We had some concerns about COVID. It is being played in Brisbane for the first time in history, usually in Sydney, once again due to COVID restrictions. So let's have a look at this chart. Souths are slight favourites, so they're going to be the ascendant. Penrith are the slight underdogs, they're going to be the descendant. What can we see happening here? We've got the moon is 29 Leo 55, void of course. It is going to slip into Virgo during the game. If we look at the aspects, you can see that Neptune is very closely sextile to MC, that's a weak influence. Sun is applying to an opposition to Chiron, applying 18 minutes, not an overly important aspect there. Mercury is applying to a trine to Jupiter, 29 minutes. It won't be exact during the game, but it might have a minor influence. So looking at the Frawley method, Mars rules the ascendant, which is South. The Sun is applying to a conjunction to Mars. That makes it combust. It's within 2 degrees. That's one for the underdogs. Can't see much else going on in that chart. So let's have a look at the Antiscapa Positions. Okay, so the main thing here is that the Antiscapa of the part of fortune is exactly conjunct the descendant if we start exactly at 6:30, and that's another one for the underdogs. So we've got 2 for the underdogs here, Penrith, and that's what's happening at the start of the game. So let's have a look at the teams, how they line up. So Penrith, the first game, we can see that Moon's going to slip into Virgo here. That is going to be sesquiquadrate the natal moon, and the natal moon is trine Venus in the natal chart, which rules the midheaven, so that's a minor positive, I would say. Venus will be floating around the ascendant at the end of the game, so that's one for Penrith. The Sun is opposing the Sun quite wide. It's more than a degree away. That is a concern. Mars is past the opposition to the Sun. Having a look at South, the Sun is applying to an opposition to Mercury. Mars is slightly past. Mercury rules the MC. We have the Moon's going to slip into Virgo and it's going to finish up towards a square to the MC. Pluto is sesquiquadrate Mars, but it is separating 20 minutes and Mars rules the Sun. So let's have a look at the Penrith team. So Ivan Cleary is the coach and his son Nathan Cleary is the captain. So what I like for Ivan Cleary is that the Sun is very close to the part of fortune here. So that's definitely one for the Penrith coach. One thing I don't like for Ivan Cleary is that the South Node is applying to a conjunction to his Neptune nearly 5 minutes away. Neptune rules his Pisces Sun, so that is a cause for concern. He's also got Mercury here. We looked at, in the game chart, we saw that Mercury is applying to a trine to Jupiter. Mercury is quite closely sextile his Mars. That's another positive for the Penrith coach. For the captain, you can see that Neptune over here is past a trine to his Scorpio Sun. So Neptune sextile the MC may be enough to trigger that, which is dreams coming true potentially. His Sun natally has a wide sextile to Neptune, so that should be okay. You can see that Jupiter here at 2241 Aquarius is applying about a degree or so away from a square to his Sun. Pretty much any Jupiter aspect in a big game is positive, except possibly the opposition, but Jupiter square his Sun looks okay as well. We're going to look at the progressions for Ivan Cleary. So here's his chart progressed. What can we see here? We can see his progressed Mars up here, close to the MC at the start, and his progressed Mars has moved down to trine his progressed Saturn. So that seems a favourable aspect to me. You can also see the Moon here at 29 Leo 55 starts off close to a trine to his progressed Sun. So that seems positive. So overall, Penrith look quite okay. So let's have a look at Souths. So Wayne Bennett is the Souths coach, legendary coach in the rugby leagues. He's been coached over 800 games. We have a rough time for his birth, and the captain is Adam Reynolds. So you can see Wayne Bennett here. Saturn is applying to a conjunction to his Jupiter. Doesn't really link back to his sun. Natally Jupiter is trine Mars wide. Saturn does rule his Capricorn sun. You also have Neptune is semi-square, just past the semi-square to his Jupiter. And when we look at progressions, we'll see a few more things. Now the captain, Adam Reynolds, you can see his Saturn's up here lurking around the MC at the start. How's his Saturn placed? It's opposite his Sun, Jupiter, Mercury. Not great. He does have a Neptune trine pretty close to his Jupiter at the start, which is some alleviation, but his Saturn not well placed natally. It is wide sextile to Pluto. That doesn't look overly good for Captain Adam Reynolds. The other thing is that moon void, of course, he is a Cancer. So he has the moon is especially important for Cancerians. When it's void, of course, at the start, it's not overly helpful. So I don't think that's a helpful aspect either. Looking at the progressions for Wayne Bennett, you can see his progress moon's up here on the midheaven at the start, which is positive. It's part of this pattern. It's not quite sextile his progressed sun over here. So his progressed sun is semi-square his Jupiter, which is just past, about nearly a degree past. So Saturn is actually semi-square his progressed sun. He is a Capricorn, so Saturn's not going to be overly difficult for him, but that is an irritation from Saturn today. Looking at the end of the game, you can see that this Taurus area is rising. Uranus is on the ascendant, potentially, maybe Jupiter on the MC. I tend to think Penrith have better alignments here. Potentially the moon of the captain is on the ascendant. Potentially that Jupiter links in to the square to the Captain Nathan Cleary's sun in Scorpio. So overall, I would say this looks better for Penrith. So there's a summary of what's happening for Penrith. There's a summary of what's happening for Souths. If we look at a couple of indications from the Frawley method are pointing to the underdog Penrith. Neptune sextile MC seems to favour Penrith. That part of fortune conjunct the sun I really like for the coach. That south node on his Neptune concerns me a bit, but overall I think Penrith look better. So thanks for watching. Like, make a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.